Yo, this your boy Miguel Hampton, a.k.a. Gelly Gel.
This is Damon, a.k.a. Damon Does.
What's up, everybody? My name is Damon.
Tranere in the building.
Welcome to Common Conversations with the Odd Fellas.
Start it up.
No topic is off the table.
Superman don't go nowhere without his cape.
We came together to cry, laugh, agree, and to disagree. So let's go. What it do? Welcome to Common Conversations. Holla at your boy Gelly Gel. We ready to rock it out. This is us recording our podcast. We're about to get this joint started. We welcome everybody who's coming onto the live to watch us be silly, have fun, and just converse. This is Common Conversations with the Odd Fellas. To the right of me, I got my main man with the Super Batman shirt on. D, what it do?
Oh my gosh, I hate when you call me D. My name is Damon, and this is Damon from Damon Does, a.k.a. the Damon DeLorean. And matter of fact, a new episode dropped today on COVID conversation. You liked that, didn't you? You go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. Say it. You know you loved it. You loved it. You're in your...
Sounds like
nerdy.
That's some forced art porn we got.
In your nerdy right little heart, you know you love it.
In the words of my friend Tranere, you gotta relax.
Wrong again. So
we excited, as y'all can tell. Hopefully y'all hang out with us and be excited too, because we're going to talk about the things we talk about. What it do? The chef.
What's up,
the
man?
Ghost,
Step into the
shadow.
kitchen. Are you hungry?
Did you feed us? Well, you did me. Appreciate you, brother. You brought me the onion rings. What's going on? We ain't gonna say where they came from. And we boycotting people soon. Hopefully they don't hit the list.
I know ain't that the truth. Everything's going good, man. It's been an interesting week. Had some challenges, things I had to process and work through, but I'm here. We here.
All right. Well, here's better than there.
Ain't that
wherever
the
there
truth?
is. And the man with the master plan. He got an airplane American flag hat on. I don't understand. What is that?
That's first off is Jay-Z's brand, Rock Nation.
Oh, okay.
And the reason it looks like this is he said when he was a kid, he never thought he'd ever ride on or fly on an airplane, so he would make paper planes.
Oh, let that breathe.
Let that breathe.
Let's go.
But anyway, it's Tranere in the building, a.k.a. Trey. Superman don't go nowhere
without his cape.
Look, I love it. He ain't gonna let you say it no more.
Yeah.
I love it. Are you kidding me? I'd say it for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You far too kind.
I love
Hold on. So for all the bachelorettes out there, say that again for us. Superman what?
Don't go nowhere without his cape.
Man, always strapped and ready to go. Let's go.
You dig?
Yes, sir.
It is your boy Gelly Gel. I'm whoever you want me to be when you want me to be. And today, let that breathe.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to the podcast. Man, we gonna talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just a raw, untapped, unprepared conversation from the Odd Fellas, because that's what we do best. We throw a topic in the air and we converse about it. So if you're watching us on the Facebook, we appreciate you. Hang out and share a bit with us. Shoot the comments. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My man,
Hello.
Uncle y'all know what's going on. What's it do? So
What up, though?
if you've been in with us, this is our couple episodes in, and how we start our episodes out is with a quick question from the gallery.
Yes, indeed. So, I was, fumbling through the questions.
Let's go.
And I thought that these two questions today would fit perfectly. And so the first question, and we'll go around the room like
All
we
right.
always do.
Go around. The prosy.
If money was not an issue, how would you spend your time?
If money was not an issue, how would I spend my time?
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm going to let y'all jump off. Go ahead, Shadow. Let the chef lead the way. I'm a follower today because great leaders sometimes know how to follow.
Amen.
Well, I would spend my time creating recipes, cooking in my own restaurant, spending as much possible time as I could with my family, blessing a few people, creating an entity that can help elevate and teach and educate people in a variety of things so that they can better their own lives.
Okay. I like it.
Damon, what it do, man?
What I would do with my time to be productive, to give back to the world, because that's totally different. The family thing obviously would be for me and
Right.
to teach them.
Right.
Is a lot something very similar to what I'm doing now. I really enjoy doing interviews. I really enjoy doing podcasts. I started taping on a third one, but that's a secret project for now.
Right.
And I really have enjoyed doing podcasts and hanging out with you guys and just hanging out with different people. I'd probably figure out I would probably do this full time and tote the kids with me, teach them how, and give them yet another skill, and have them learn how to network and talk to people so they can be as successful as they want to be doing whatever they want to do.
Right.
So,
Right.
raise my kids. And wait, I'm not done.
Okay,
He ain't
go ahead.
done. He said he
My
got a
bad.
laundry
And also, I would hire a babysitter at least once a week so I can chase my wife around naked around the house.
You would hire a babysitter so you could chase your wife butt naked around the house.
I really should have thought that through.
All right.
Y'all look at me. I was like, why are they looking at me like that?
Yo, more
Now I know why.
More people need to get babysitters so they can chase their
right.
wives around the house.
You know what I mean?
Butt naked.
I think they just found out why we're called the Odd Fellas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know.
You're
But
welcome.
But I hear you.
You're welcome.
Miguel?
Yo, if money was no object, how would I spend my time?
No.
What would I do? What's that?
If money was not an issue,
issue, not an issue.
how would you spend your time?
Money is not an issue now. So I spend my time doing the things that I want to do. So I would be a bigger advocate. I'd be out in the streets more helping people learn, fight,
Yeah.
recreate, rebuild, restructure. I still be a photographer. I still probably be a serial entrepreneur. I sit in a room with a bunch of fellas and wear a mask that says, I can't breathe. That's what money ain't an issue. Money ain't an issue anyway, right? I mean, if we really think about it, money's not the issue. How we use money, how we perceive money is the issue. What we do with money is the issue. I mean, time is the most valuable thing we have, not money.
You done start teaching. Go ahead.
Boy,
bro.
that started early.
Yeah. He done got into it.
So you asking me what I would do if money is not an issue. Money ain't the issue.
So what you saying is you would just do more of the same.
I do more of the same. So if you out here breathing like I got money, I need money to do a damn thing, well, you seeing it wrong. My opinion.
Right.
I reserve the right to be wrong, but money ain't the issue. But I love the question. Let's go.
Okay.
What's the next one? Let's get. I'm sorry. I'm gonna scale
Well,
back.
hold
a
on.
little bit.
Can I
Let
answer
that
the
breathe.
question?
No.
I
Be
gotta,
you.
I gotta answer the
We need
question.
you to be
Oh
you.
yeah, traineering.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Oh well,
So
gotta let the G talk.
if money was not an issue, and for the sake of the question, I agree with Miguel. But for the sake of the question, if money was not an issue, I would spend more time with my closest friends. I got two of my aces that live in Atlanta, so I'd make sure that I'd see them more. I would definitely heavily still be involved in coaching football. That means something to me. I like being out there with the boys and things of that nature. So I would continue to do that. I definitely would continue to grow and develop personally so that I can, help others do the same, or at some point, add value to other people. I would still do those things. And then I would definitely still serve the Lord and try to, help in my church and things of that nature. That would be, I said that when I got back into church, I was away from the church for a little while. I said when I got back into the church that I didn't want to be indignant when I got back in. And so, of course, that's something that's extremely important to me. So I would definitely still serve in the church. And then, outside of that, just continue to, get better and develop businesses and rock with some cool, amazing, awesome guys and travel a little bit.
Where would you go?
Well, I've never been to New York, and I'm fascinated with New York, so I'd go to New York in the summertime, just to be clear.
We need to make that trip soon. We can do that right now. Let's go.
Yeah. And,
go.
we had this talk last week
Let's
about
go.
Miguel. I've never been to Vegas, so I'd go to Vegas. And
I hate Vegas, but I'll go with you. Let's go. We go next week.
okay, you see, it's Miguel.
It's a drive away.
And I think that I don't know. I've heard some excellent things about Houston.
Texas?
Yes.
It's hot as shit in the summer. You could boil the devil and he'd still be standing.
Well, listen. You know, I like the heat.
I don't want no part of that heat. I'd rather go to Africa and feel that kind of heat.
I don't like the cold.
All right, but we can go to Houston. I ain't driving to Texas no more, brother.
Well, we can fly.
Yeah, that's a horrible drive. Like, that's a long. Texas is big. That's like driving to 8 countries and still going nowhere.
Exactly.
But we can go. Let's go.
And
Not next week though.
And I wouldn't mind going to L.A. too, just to see Nipsey's. You know,
You
shop.
ain't going to L.A. right now though.
No, but I'm just saying.
Not even next week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But I wouldn't mind seeing Nipsey's, shop in his area and
Yeah,
things
that would be dope.
That'd be dope to me.
I got some people down there. I can call them and tell them we coming.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go.
Real talk.
Yeah, real talk.
Let's roll.
Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah, Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, you don't know who you got a Nipsey song, brother?
That we can legally
Nipsey
play.
Hussle
No.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Well,
but
we
can't legally play it.
We can give him 30 seconds.
we can't legally play it.
We
can't.
can't legally play this vibration that's going through our eardrums. I hope y'all ain't listening to that. All right, so Nipsey Hussle, just one of the greatest hip hop artists out there. Got unfortunately died. Was shot earlier? Was it late last year?
Yep.
But it just a brilliant artist, great entrepreneur, community leader. Just was an all around really great guy. So we're gonna have to get you some Nipsey Hussle tracks.
Yeah.
I got a hoodie with Nipsey on it. Just fire.
He got a fire one on his
Yeah,
last.
man.
All right.
But
Let's go.
so I would want to see his shop because he was very much into uplifting and building his community out there in LA and uplifting his people and providing hope, education. I think he had some program going on for inner city, the people where he grew up at doing coding.
Okay, yeah.
He had an incubator for kids.
Yeah.
For the youth.
Yeah, he was doing some big boy stuff. He wasn't doing no small time stuff. And unfortunately,
he was using his platform.
Absolutely.
To build. Real talk.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Nipsey. Rest in
Rest
peace.
in peace.
Rest in peace.
What's the next question?
Next question. Here we go. Ooh, this is a good one.
Is it?
Yes. What
How good is it?
What challenge do you want to overcome?
What challenge? Damon, let's go. You look like you challenged right now. The podcast people in the world can't see you, but I can. If you're watching on the live, they see you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. What's the challenge?
Getting a hold of my emotions, recognizing that they're there and then I experience them, but not becoming encompassed by them. There's been a lot going on, as everybody knows, and there are aspects in my personal life that made it even worse, and it's just been trying. So that would be it.
All right. True. Fair.
Miguel,
What?
what challenge?
Your turn.
It's your turn.
My challenges?
What challenge?
What
What
challenge?
challenge?
So it can be a broad challenge? Oh man, I would hope that the challenge I would like to overcome would be systemic racism. I feel like I'm at a pageant.
What? Okay.
You know what I mean? I would like to reset the government, turn this shit inside out, and make sure that there was equality on the other side. That's the challenge. I want to see that black men and women, black and brown people stop being gunned down in the street by police officers. That's the challenge. I want to see new laws that are equitable and justice, or just, excuse me. That challenge. I want to see economic stability amongst black people. I want to see black businesses grow, beyond. Matter of fact, if the challenge, man, there's so many challenges, and I think they all go together. I want to see black people thrive in this country. I want to see black people sit with their white brothers and sisters, and we all sit and kick it and smoke weed if you smoke weed, drink if you drink, make money together if money is important, barbecue and eat ribs, and do the damn thing. Like I want harmony and peace, like on some real shit.
So
My bad.
I'm with you on a big picture.
I can't breathe.
Scale. I'm with you 100%. However, I'm talking about something specifically to you, isolated to you individually as the person Miguel.
Man,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to hijack your
you
question.
want to hijack my answer? Let's go. I can't breathe.
Don't let him off the hook.
Yeah,
man.
No, I'm not letting him off the hook, but I don't think anything he just got through saying was not personal to him as a black man in America.
But I'm talking about
let him off the hook.
exactly.
I'm not letting him off the
Can
hook.
I quarterback this, please?
Oh,
Thank you.
My apologies, sir.
Thank you. I'm talking about something specifically. I understand on a big picture that's your challenge, and I agree with you. I'm with you there. However, I'm talking about something specifically that only deals with Miguel.
All right, so challenge, opportunity, specifically Miguel.
Yes.
You know what? I didn't want to, but now I want to. I want to put my business in a position where it is financially stable to the point where I can hire people that look like me on a daily basis, teach them to be able to build their own,
That's right.
grow their own, and that we can walk around in Southern Indiana and say that we have black enterprises that do not necessarily need white dollars to thrive. That's personal and very specific to Miguel.
Okay.
Y'all can help that happen too. Let's
Okay.
go.
So, Damon,
I can't breathe.
What?
I'm taking this damn mask off.
I told you. What challenge do you want to overcome?
Let's go.
I think for me, the challenge that I want to overcome is the unconscious apathy to the plight of black people in this country. I think because certain things haven't happened to me, a level of apathy has seeped in to my consciousness, to my awareness, to what is happening to other people. And when there's a situation that brings it to the forefront, then I'm more apt to be conscious or conscientious of what's going on around me. And that's a challenge that in where we are today, I've recognized and identified within myself.
So
Y'all gotta see Tranere's face right now.
So you know I'm about to do the same thing to you, right?
Wish
Y'all
you could
gotta,
see his
y'all, gotta,
face.
y'all gotta see Tranere's face right now. He look, I'm not even gonna use the word.
So you know I'm about to do the exact same thing to you, right?
And this is personal to me.
Listen,
Miguel,
I understand on a big scale. I know
I'm
what
not
you're
talking. I'm not
but I'm
talking.
talking about like a challenge.
I
for
understand
you
what
could
you're
be-
saying. And let me address that. Miguel and I had a conversation where, in that conversation, I said I list several things that did not happen to me personally, and what I realized about myself is because certain racial things didn't happen to me, that my attentiveness, my awareness, me being conscientious about racial tension in this country was very, very minimal. That's for me personally, that's a challenge. And that's the best answer I have for you.
Hey, we talking about that life.
You could have said.
I could have said any other thing.
You could have said getting over, learning how to make, whoop-de woo with the Swedish meatball, but okay, this is what we doing.
It's his answer.
It is,
This
it is, but
this is my challenge.
this is how we gonna do this.
That's where we at, right? I mean, the game. So those of y'all listen to this is Common Conversations with the Odd Fellas, and the rule is that when we bring the conversation to the table, one, it's unscripted, and two, it's authentic, right? And so we bring it how we bring it, and so when we challenge one another, that is welcome. So Tranere, get him.
This is not what I was looking
and
for.
Tranere was
Okay.
looking for something specific.
I'm just saying. A challenge for me that I would like to overcome is when I think of doing new things, new ventures, sticking my hand in a new pot,
Yeah.
there's always a hint of doubt in the back of my mind.
All right.
And that's a challenge for me. And so I continuously have to, really, to be honest, that's a part of the reason why I read, because it helps me to get those negative thoughts out of my mind, those doubts out of my mind, and push forward. And so that's a personal challenge for me.
Do you move beyond the doubts?
Oh, absolutely. Because I've learned over time that I'm not going to let it freeze me.
Got you. Let's go.
I definitely am not going to, I'm going to pull the trigger. We're going to go, you know what I'm saying? But I do have those, for, a brief period of time, those doubts. And so that's why I always got to keep something positive in my face, in my ears, in my eyesight, in my company.
So where do you think the doubts come from? Like, give me an idea. You say I'm gonna get into this business, XYZ, and then all of a sudden this thing kicks in.
I think part of it is you've never done it before.
Okay.
And so I think that's the natural, thing that, I've never done this. This is new, so on and so forth. And so I think that's a part of the doubt. And then I think maybe not accomplishing anything big on a big scale yet in life.
Define big. What's the big scale? Because you've accomplished a lot.
Yeah, I have. But again, big for me, what I mean by that is, let's say that I told y'all when I was in college that I wanted to be a sports agent, right?
Yeah.
And let's say I become a sports agent and I negotiate $100 million contract. That to me is a big deal. All right,
let's go.
We'll talk.
A good client of mine some years back pulled me in our office before they downsized quite a bit. And I'll never forget this. She looked me in my face and she said, young man, you're brilliant. You get with the right people and they're going to make you a millionaire. She said, I'm not that person.
Dang.
But I want you to know that when you get with the right people, they're going to make you a millionaire. And I said, all right, cool.
Right.
So, Tranere said he's the agent, the mostest.
Sports agent.
Hey, broaden your horizon. Hey, life is bigger than sports, and life is a sport.
Yeah, but sports is
What's up? I can hit people.
Like, it's everything to me.
All right, let's go. So I got to get in the sports arena. So I need to start. What I got to do?
Esports?
I play video games.
You do. I'm not into video games anymore.
But it's a sport.
Is it?
It is.
It is considered a sport.
It is a competitive sport.
And it draws more money than the NFL, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's go.
It's big. It's big.
Huge.
Sometimes I'm in politics.
Demond, are you really gonna do this?
Hey!
I thought you was on my side tonight.
Let's go. Sometimes I'm in politics. That's
I'm trying
a
to
sport.
help you out.
Who?
Sometimes I'm in politics. That's a sport.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is a sport.
That's true.
Real talk.
So this is what we doing tonight.
This is what we doing tonight. Let's go.
Under pressure.
You know what? Though?
Not under pressure.
But you know something. There is
That's because
something.
you clutch.
Thank you.
There is
Thank
something
you.
I would like to do, and I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I would like to train so that I can do a minor league shooting tournament. To see if I could get skilled enough to get into a major
Competitive shooting.
competitive shooting.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind that. I've thought about it, and it's something I've played with. But like photography, the gun competition is expensive. Them guns, boy, them handguns be like $1,500 to $3,000.
Hey, I can coach you.
You gonna call? Hey, everybody need a good coach.
Exactly.
Real
So
talk.
that $1 million.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, let's go.
When I think about generational wealth, I think about a couple of different things. I think about leaving something for your kids and your kids' kids and their kids that we can carry on. And, if Lord willing, your family is 25 generations down the road, right? 25 generations from where you started, they can look back and say, hey, this thing started with Miguel Hampton or Tranere or Damon or Damon. Like, your family can look back, whether it's finances, whether it's a certain practice, whether it's just having an independent mindset. And so I think about that. And I also think about wealth, generational wealth. I think about the things that we're instilling in the ones that come behind us. What are you instilling in the ones that come behind us? Are we just giving them some hogwash that you can't do nothing with? Or are you really adding value and allowing them to grow and get better as they move forward in life? And so that's what I think about when I think about generational wealth.
How do you achieve, man? How do you achieve generational wealth? Your thoughts.
I think first you have to educate yourself. You have to learn. You have to study. You have to get around the people that know and are educated about that topic, about how to achieve it, who know how to, accumulate, or even at least heading down that direction.
True story.
And from there, I believe you can start to achieve some great things. But all in all, it starts with having the mindset or working towards getting that mindset. And really being truly honest with yourself and saying, hey, I do want to leave something for the generations that come behind me. I hear this saying about money don't grow on trees, money don't, and we talking about wealth now. Money don't grow on trees, money don't grow on trees. I hear that saying, and to me, that's a saying that it doesn't attract finances. Like, I want to keep positive energy. I want to attract good energy. I want to attract great things. I want to attract finances, right? But I can't attract finances if I have a poverty mindset.
All right.
I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Christian Boer. He raised the question. He says, does generational wealth have to be money?
No.
We got to define what wealth is.
Again, I think it's also, I think it's health. I think it's what you instill in people. And I think it's
education.
Yes. And then finances too.
So wealth, education, and finances.
Yeah.
Right. But we're forgetting real estate.
Well, that generates finances.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? Like, how many do we, so here's what was this question?
This question is, does generational wealth have to be money? And then I have another one of my friends, Vivian. She said, planning, thinking ahead, but that is difficult to do if all you see are obstacles.
Planning, thinking ahead, and it's hard to do when all you see is obstacles.
So that's a very good point. And y'all know through a few weeks of some of the things that I've said on our podcast here is that the challenges, the obstacles, the uphill battle, it's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to develop you. And when I say develop you, I mean when you finally do reach that top, reach that point where you have accomplished the things and created that generational wealth platform, now you are the person that is equipped to handle it, that is equipped to move forward in that space. I know this guy. Go ahead, man. Yeah, I don't know why I'm the only one talking.
I mean, you good. I'm just getting the flow. I told you I was in a headspace, and I'm trying to calculate and move and shake with you. But I'm with you on the wealth piece, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, does wealth equate to money? Yes, right. Money is something that of a value. So the reality of it is, if money disappears, cash money, that coin, that thing that we talk about, that we transaction in the bank, right, which we automatically almost do anyway. If it disappeared tomorrow, wealth would still exist, right? So money, money is an asset, is a piece of the wealth transaction. When in reality, when they was racing to America to build this country, right, slaves were a part of that wealth construct. Right. So to acquire the lands of South America, North America, and to rob them or to take it from the indigenous folks that was already here, that was part of their wealth construct. So we know that land, real estate, is part of wealth. So if you have land, then you can build your homes, your generational homes. You have something of value that maybe you can sell or rent, farm to build. So if money disappeared and you had land, then you could technically plant a seed and farm.
That's right.
And then you would have a crop, which means you would have a product.
That's right.
Right. You could then bring that product to market. So you could either sell it for something else of value or something that is considered a coin, a dollar, right? So no, it doesn't always relate to money. I think the important, so when we think about, and I'm not an economist, I haven't studied this to that degree, but when we think about what wealth is, we do know that most people who started with generational wealth had what? Life insurance.
Yep. At
a basis, grandma, dad, auntie, uncle, somebody passed away, and they had a life insurance policy of 100,000. 2 million, whatever that dollar increment was. And so when they passed away, that money was then left to the child.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
So we know that's part of it.
They call it the shock of wealth.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
Right. So there is money. Hold on. First of all, let me repeat this. There is value in death. That's why coroners make so much money. Mm-hmm. That's why we go to war, because there's value in death, right? We can generate and build wealth. That's something we have to understand. It's something we have to educate ourselves with. We also have to learn how to manage our resources. Sometimes we get so stuck on money that we're not really looking at the big picture.
Yes.
In terms of the resources that we have that can contribute to our wealth building.
Yes, that's correct.
Like purchasing a home, right? Some of us purchase a home to live in it forever. and we look at it as something that we should have, that is supposed to, it's supposed to be there forever. Not instead of looking at it as isn't an asset that you should live in, that will appreciate, and then at some point in time you need to get the hell out of it and sell it before it becomes a liability.
Right.
And it's okay to live in multiple homes.
Yep.
But buying real estate is important.
Yes.
Right. So whether it's commercial or residential, we know that playing the stock market, that is a way to generate wealth. That's a way to take your dollars, your resources, and to build them. Right? You don't have to be a genius to invest in other great things that are doing great things.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Starting a business. Right? Most of us have been told that let's go to college and let's spend all this fucking money in college and let's go work for somebody. Let's go realize someone else's dream. Let's give them all our sweat and our equity and our tears and our blood and our sweat.
Yep.
Right? Because we paid above a slave wage. So that we can have this idea of freedom, right? Most of us are free. Very few of us are independent.
That's right.
Right? So you go out here and you get this job and work for somebody, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it, but you can't give that job to someone else.
That's correct.
Right? So you got to start a business that you can grow. And in businesses, I want you to understand this too. When I say this, businesses are not supposed to last forever, just like your house. Sometimes you got to get out of the business while it's an asset before it becomes a liability.
That's correct.
Yep.
Right? We got to learn how to pivot in the things that we do in this life, because one thing we know about life is that it's constantly going to change. Right? So starting a business, learning how to run a business, learning how to, and I love the conversation with when we talk, a lot of times I get the opportunity to talk about solopreneurship, which is basically a new term for the individual, the one person business, which means a lot to our economy, because a lot of times they do business with other businesses. And so those dollars continue to move around.
Yep.
But understanding how to make your business profitable, understanding how to bring people into your company when it's time to grow. That's important. That's important to building wealth. And that also is important in the education, because you're now teaching someone else to do the same thing.
That's correct.
We know that starting a business is important. And there's a layer of other things. But yes, and to answer your question too to that, wealth is a mindset.
Yes.
It is. Somebody said something to me this morning, said I'd start a business if I had good credit. And I looked at them and I said, credit is a small percentage of what is required to start a business. So if you have not started that business because you got bad credit, I need you to remove that from your mind.
Right.
Another conversation I had this morning was, my man said, you can teach as much as you want, but you can't teach somebody who ain't willing to learn.
That's true.
Being wealthy is about willing to learn something new. Being willing to see something bigger than yourself.
That's right.
And then part of a wealth mindset is being able to move in a direction that you may not have ever saw yourself moving in.
Right. Being flexible,
facing fear.
That's right.
Standing out in the middle of a protest because you want wealth. You want access to resources.
Right.
You want the same independence that everyone else is afforded.
That's right.
Wealth. Yeah, it's a mindset.
That's right.
It's a mindset to say, stop motherfuckers from shooting us in the street. Because that ain't a wealth mindset.
By no means.
Might be by the motherfucker who shot us, excuse the language right now. Because they got a wealth mindset. They've been killing us for ages so that they can keep their wealth. They owe us a lot, whoever they are. One day we going to take it back. Right now we asking to negotiate. We negotiate. We asking to, I want y'all to hear that. We asking to negotiate for some shit that belong to us.
Wow.
Yeah, wealth is a mentality.
It is.
So let's talk generational wealth. Let's build this shit.
So yeah, I definitely believe that it starts with that, believing that it could be accomplished.
Yes.
Getting the poverty words out of your vocabulary.
Juice. Okay, so let's go there. Can I go there?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I gotta shout out Faye. Y'all, people who are listening to this, y'all don't know Faye Allen. I've had the blessing to have met Faye.
Yes.
Living here in Jeffersonville, who's just an amazing woman. And words are powerful.
That's right.
And if you don't know that, you need to know your words and your thoughts have meaning beyond the stretches of what you think they mean. All right. And what I mean by that is Faye has these quirks. Faye Allen has these things like, so if you're a young person and you're sitting next to her and when you're in a meeting and you start clicking that pen, she gonna reach over and grab your hand and say, don't do that.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna tell you something else she introduced me to. I one day sat in a meeting and I said, I need that. And she went in on me like she was my grandma, and I had just cussed up a storm in front of her. And I said, whoa. All I said was the word need. And she said, do you know what the word need means? And I said, nah, Faye, what's the word need mean? I need a thing, so I go get it. Need means that you can't get it yourself. Whoa. Need means that you need someone, you have to have someone else do for you because you can't do it yourself.
Wow.
That's what the word need means. I said, right, bruh.
Wow.
I was like, man, I don't need shit.
Right.
So when you're telling yourself
that's
that
right.
you need something, what are you really saying to yourself? You're saying that you need something. I need money, which means you're saying I can't get it myself. So I'm looking for someone to give me something I cannot accomplish or gain myself. I need it for free. I need it on a discount. I need you to give me the book. I need you to read it to me. Man, boy, I was like, okay, cool. The new word for the day is, how do we acquire? I am required to do something, or I must acquire this thing, right? Fuck the word need. I virtually almost try to take it out my vocabulary.
That's right.
Words are powerful.
Let that breathe.
They are.
Right?
Wow.
So, and I had never thought about people who are economically challenged. In the words that are taught to them, words that are ingrained to them specifically.
Right. Money don't grow on trees.
But it does, because fucking money is a tree.
Exactly.
You can grow a tree. You can grow a peach tree, a lemon tree.
I can't with this guy.
An orange.
Right?
Apple.
What are those, my friend? They are commodities.
Exactly.
They are commodities, and they grow. And you matter of fact, you can invest in commodities on a stock exchange.
Right.
So money does grow on tree. We make paper that come from leaves and tree that go through a processing. Money does grow on trees. Money is a tree.
It's made of.
Yep.
Money ain't nothing but energy.
That's right.
Ain't nothing but a thought.
That's right.
You put your thought around money and you'll have it.
That's right.
You know what we struggle with? Equality, injustice, racism, systemic racism.
Right.
That shit don't grow on a tree. Actually, they hung us from trees. But I digress, because we talking about generational wealth. Let's go. Stuff that folks have tried to keep us from.
Damon, your thoughts?
Let's go. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
Generational wealth.
My grandma came to this country because she wanted to achieve what America could give us, or what she could give herself. She learned that racism here is unlike any other racism anywhere else. But racism is everywhere because it was the race to develop using Africans for free labor, to build an economy, to build someone else's wealth. I'm sorry. Y'all jump in here. Y'all tell me to shut up, man. Let's talk generational wealth. Let's go. I want to build.
Gentlemen.
I want my kids to have for tomorrow. Don't you want your kids to have for tomorrow? Don't you want? I want Damon Does the 6 questions to be the equivalent to Ted Turner owning all the damn television and radio stations across the country.
It's a mindset, and in many ways, we as Black people have been conditioned to not think that we can obtain the various areas which wealth falls into. So we don't even try. I got in a conversation with my brother, and we were talking about the term ghetto fabulous earlier today. As a teenager in Akron, Ohio, when people use the term ghetto fabulous, what I saw was that people living on the system, paying $15 for rent, and then buying Jordans, TVs, stereo systems to look like they had something. As opposed to being good, we're just going to look the part for a sense of status. And this was them being ghetto fabulous because they got the opportunity to feel good about themselves or better about themselves because, they could put Jordans on a 3-year-old.
That's not something just black people do.
You're right. It isn't. But I'm right now. I'm talking about what I saw,
Gotcha.
and it was predominantly black people.
Gotcha. Okay. On the same page.
I didn't grow up rich or with money or even with a money mindset. We grew up poor. I lived on welfare, was on the system, Reaganomics, the government cheese, the whole 9 yards. Even was homeless as a child, sleeping in the car. But that mindset of this is the best you'll ever have, this is the best it'll be. You'll have to either go to college and just get a good job. And I went to college and technically I have a good job.
There it is.
But I wouldn't say I have wealth.
¿Por qué no? Why not?
Because I'm just now understanding the mindset that it takes to even achieve wealth, to even pursue it.
So I'm curious, what do you think the mindset to achieve wealth is?
Well, just in sitting amongst the three of you all and everything you said tonight, business, not understanding need. That's the first time I've heard anybody explain need that way, and it resonates with me because I realize I grew up thinking that I could work hard at helping someone else achieve their dream, and then somehow that would enable me to achieve mine. That by spending 20 years working towards a pension, that I could somehow take what I was getting from them to build mine, not even realizing that I'm giving the best of myself to someone else and never giving the best of myself to me in the very dreams and the very things that I have in my own desire to do.
Teach.
Thinking that, believing in this mindset that I've heard in school growing up, if you just go to school, you can become this. If you just go to school, you can become that. You can become a doctor. You can become a lawyer. You can become blah, 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 blah. And investing all of my energy. And now at 49 years old, body hurt, broken, because I've been giving myself away to somebody else's vision and dream and aspiration. Now I'm looking to create for myself the very thing that I've longed for all along.
Which is?
To have wealth.
There it is.
To be wealthy.
But you know what has to happen for you to get to that point?
What?
You got to live. You got to live. You actually have to walk through life.
Yep.
Achieve some shit, learn some shit, and be like, oh, by the way, now I know what I want.
Yep.
And sometimes what we want is simple as putting a term to it.
Right.
If we don't know what wealth is, if we don't know what wealth looks like, I can't use the word wealth and say that's what I want to achieve.
Right.
Ghetto fabulous.
And sometimes also it is what you said, but it's also admitting that you want it.
True story.
Real
and
talk.
not being ashamed of it.
And not being ashamed
Not
of
being ashamed of saying I want to be out of the place that I'm in.
it. Right.
Because everybody else might want to stay in the place that they're in.
That's right.
But we talk about this. We talk about sometimes if you want people around you to move, you have to be the one to move. And if you begin to show them something different, then just maybe they'll come with you.
Just maybe.
Just maybe they might pick up the same book. Just maybe they'll ask the same questions.
That's right.
But even if they don't, you still have
You
to
gotta
move.
do you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
Still gotta
gotta
move.
do you. So wealth is a mentality, yes, but wealth is a mentality that that has to be developed.
Absolutely.
Right? Some people are born with a certain developmental skill.
Yep.
Right? Some people acquire early because they are sponges because of the conversations and the influence that they have early. Your influence may have not come early. It may have just come. So now what you do today different than you did yesterday is based on the knowledge that you just gained.
Real talk.
That's wealth.
Right. So it's a really good point. I had a college teammate once, and listen, I'm not in any way, no disrespect. I'm not firing any shots to any parents out there, not my own, not any of them. But I had a college teammate once that said to me, so we was talking, and he said to me, I was telling him, well, I come from a household, my mom, when adults come over, you go to the back, you let adults have adult conversations and things of that nature. And I said, at that point, it's be seen but not heard. I come from that. And he was like completely dumbfounded. Like he was like, no. He said, that's not where I come from. We have conversations at the dinner table. When my dad's friends or my mom's friends would come over, we would all talk. And I just noticed on our football team, his mindset was totally different than the rest of us. He was like truly a 1%er. And then I look at some of the things that he's accomplished in his life and what he's done and things like that. He was truly a 1%er. And again, his mindset was totally different at 18 years old than all of us and his teammates. Like we was like I remember he used to hang around, like he would hang around us and we would, shoot the jive or whatever. But every so often he would have a group of 30-year-olds a couple of 30-year-olds he would have conversations with. And, a 30-year-old to an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, we like, what's he over with the old dude for? Like, what's he hang with them? It wasn't until I was 33 years old that I realized what was happening there.
What was happening?
So, and we talked about this, but so what was happening is, yeah, he hung out with his teammates and, things of that nature, and it was fun. We had great times, like truly great times. The older gentleman that he was spending time with and having deeper conversations with was feeding him something that he was used to getting back home that we couldn't provide for him, which was that intellectual conversation, that conversation that would feed the mindset that he's grew up with.
Absolutely. So when you tell your kid to go in the other room, grown people talking, I want you to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're killing them early. You're squashing their ability to build capacity. Right. You're squashing their ability to be able to be intellectual. Right. To be able to process. See, sometimes we look at our kids and we think that they're not going through the thing that we're going through.
Right.
We look at them and say they don't see it the way we see it. Well, you're right. They don't see it the way we see it. They see it a different way. But when you don't let them come into the conversation, right, and be able to articulate their views, their feelings, their emotions, not only do you stale yourself, but you stale them early.
That's right. The
greatest thing I was ever taught is make sure that my friends was older than me. Why? What is the reason for that? Well, the reason is if I hang out with people who are older than me, then I get to live through their experiences.
That's right.
Which in many cases removes the burden of doubt when I'm about to do something that I've never done.
A couple of weeks ago when we was at Damon's, having dinner.
Yeah.
And, we got into a different conversation, and y'all remember the conversation.
Most def. We was talking, yeah.
And I said something to Tia, and then I was like, well, let me not say it like that because Suge's right there. And Tia was like, oh, no, she's fine.
Oh, Suge. Look, let me tell you this. I've been taking Maria to board meetings. So Maria, since she was born, has been coming to the office with me. So
say that again. Hold on.
Maria, since the day she was born, has been coming to the office with me.
Yes, absolutely.
So before she could speak and she was only crawling, she was sitting in a playpen next to my desk. Right. So she would crawl through the office. She would tear stuff off the shelves. I was blessed to have a great boss named Agnes Stewart. May she rest in peace. Who said, you know what? If you can't find a babysitter, who better to bring her to work is her daddy. Wow. And we got kids. We old. So, you go do what you need to do. We'll take care of her while you out.
That's right.
Right. So we were blessed to do that. So she had the experience of daddy going to work firsthand. Right. So later in life, I'm sitting on different community boards and activist boards and business boards, and I don't always have a babysitter. And you know what? Miguel does not believe in giving his resources to other people to do what he can do for himself. So what did I not do? I did not pay for a babysitter so that I could go to a volunteer board meeting. My daughter came with me.
Right.
And I used to teach her. I said, look, here's the thing. This is the room where you're the fly on the wall. You learn, you listen. We can talk about it when we leave. And then she would break down the board meeting. This person said this. Daddy, what did they mean? This person said that. Daddy, what did they mean?
Right.
Or then I'd be like, what board meetings do you like to go to? And she'd be like, I love going to this one because they be yelling at each other. Right? But she's absorbing that. She's getting that early.
Yes.
And if you don't expose your children to the things that you're involved in and the things that move and govern this life, you set them back. The word poor is a trick. It is a trick. The word poor is a trick so that people can say, I'm poor. So when you tell yourself you're poor, you're telling yourself you're incapable, you're unable, you're inferior. Because that's what the word poor means. Lack of good, lack of value. Slaves were poor because their slave masters needed them to know that they had no value so they would not run. But they're the wealthiest thing on the damn farm. That's why they could make money off of them. That's why America was built.
Yeah.
Generational wealth.
Hasn't changed either.
Not at all. That's why they can gun us down in the middle of the street.
Hasn't changed.
Yep.
That mindset
And walk
still
away.
exists.
So that's exactly why I say it's wealth is not just what you leave for your kids or the generations after you. It's also what you leave in them.
Absolutely. We gotta feed. I love Puffy did that joint when he was doing his reality TV show. Them homies was like eat, feed. Man, we gotta feed each other.
That's right.
We gotta feed each other so we can eat today. Here's the other thing though. Anna Murray, I love you out there. You know, and my man Maurice Sweeney, love you out there. Because what I'm about to say is, we have to learn how to plant.
That's
we have
right.
to learn how to garden.
That's
we have
right.
to learn how to farm.
That's right.
This life is about planting seeds, nurturing that seed, so that it becomes a flower,
That's right.
so it can bear fruit.
Yeah.
That's also biblical for my biblical people,
That's 100%.
right? And once we bear fruit, guess what we can do? We can eat. We can feed our neighbor. We can barter. Do you realize that in this life we barter our time for something that does not truly have any value, such as paper? The most valuable two things we have as people, my opinion, I ain't no scholar, I'm just saying it, is our time and our minds.
In our mind. That's
And we
correct.
give that shit away for free almost every day.
Let that breathe.
This whole podcast conversation, if y'all don't give us $1, is free knowledge. You know, you can do what you want with it. You can agree or disagree. I don't really care. I got to where I got here because I think this way.
Yep.
And a whole lot of other people do too.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, if y'all want to send us some money, you know what I'm saying?
We will accept.
You know what I mean? But
Real
yo,
talk.
like real talk, like we as a people, black, white, green, yellow, we as a people who are economically challenged, who see themselves as poor, who see themselves as unable to achieve a certain thing because of lack of resources, we have to stop telling ourselves that.
That's right.
We have to look at the resources, and I have a strong faith, and I believe God gives us everything that is required for us to do what we want
And be great.
and be great at it.
100%.
You notice how I removed that word need.
Yep.
Everything that is required for us to do the thing that we want to do, we already have in front of us.
That's right.
We just simply have to do it.
That's right.
That's wealth. That's a wealth mindset. They want to tell you, oh, you got bad credit. You can't do that. That's bullshit. This world got bad credit. Trump got the worst bad credit. That man filed more bankruptcies than we know. Than most people that we identify as poor.
Right. Right. And then not only that, you know, you was talking about you plant a seed and you cultivate it and
Yes.
it produces a flower and then it bears fruit. The problem with a lot of us is when we in that process, we get to paying attention to somebody else's garden.
Oh, yeah, we can get distracted.
Real talk.
I mean, you know.
We get to paying attention
Thomas
to
Parker.
Well, yeah, you got to relax. Well, why do they get blue flowers? I wanted blue flowers.
Well, that's because you planted a red rose.
You dig?
Know what you plant.
And so,
Know what seed you put out there.
you know, again, what is meant for you is for you.
Real talk. If you over here looking in my garden and I got blue flowers and you want a blue flower
Cause I got red flowers.
because you got red, walk over to my garden and say, hey, I trade you some of my red for some of your blue.
Yeah. Like I'm with you.
I'm
Like
you
I'm
know what I
with
mean?
you.
But people got to do that. Sometimes we don't, right?
Right.
No,
Sometimes
the
we get it
mindset is to sit back and be jealous and be frustrated and be aggravated and be mad because you got blue flowers.
because that's what they taught people. That's what they teach, right?
Yep.
Right? That's why we can hold on to this word called poor. That's why we can run around talking that we need,
Yep.
right?
Wow.
Right?
That's gonna stick with me the rest of the.
You know, we've been taught that only in the black community, we have been taught that only the few can have more.
If
The
you have
right hand of the master made sure that only the few could have more. Only the few, right? White people even tell white people that shit. Wealthy people tell poor white folk. We're going to get rid of that word poor. Economically challenged white folk, that same shit.
Yep.
You know what black people and white folk have in common? This whole thing called poverty.
real talk.
Economics, equality, justice, generational wealth. During slavery, right? The white man was out there beating us. He didn't own us. He was working for the slave master. The only difference between him and us is he got paid. No, not true story. The only difference between him and us is that he wasn't black. And that's another story they told.
Yep.
We got to understand our history.
Yep.
We talk about generational wealth. How do black people get there? Right? We got to build it. But first of all, we also have to understand that this is not something we haven't done before.
All right.
There have been many wealthy black people, wealthy businesses that have been developed by African Americans, women and men in this country.
All right.
We have to tell that story to our children. We need to tell.
So
we should be required. We have to be able to tell that very story to ourselves.
right. So let me ask you this question. So if you have someone that is of the same mindset, right? Have the same vision,
Let's go.
which is generational wealth. We want to achieve that,
Yes, let's go.
right? But they don't necessarily think the same way as you.
We ain't got to think the same.
Okay, that's what I'm getting
We do
at.
not have to think the same way. We might have to be on the same bus sometimes. But how you think and I think don't matter. I mean, here's the thing. This is what I love about math, right? There's one equation for one answer. Oh,
Security.
I done drank too much. Now I'm just playing. Let's stop that.
Security.
I done dropped the glass. I dropped the best glass on the floor.
We got one. One out of 12.
Here's the thing. We don't have to. I don't think it's a necessity that we think alike. I think we have to have some common ideologies.
Right.
I think we have to be studied. I think that we have to be able to hold a conversation and challenge one another.
Right.
I think I think
Without having feelings.
well, have your feelings. But let's get back to we got to be able to breathe.
Let that breathe.
Right? We got to be able to breathe.
Right.
We got to get a man's foot off our neck.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
We got to get the man's gun out of our heads. We got to get his policy right. This man Lucas up here in with Scottsburg, Sellersburg, whatever the hell he is, state rep, ranting racist things on Facebook. We got to remove him from being able to make policies. But back to your statement, do we have to have the same mindset?
No, you have the same mindset, right?
Right.
You have the same vision,
Yes. Tell me.
but you don't think the exact same way.
Nah, not at all, man. We could tie our shoes two different ways and they still tied.
Okay.
Do you want somebody who thinks like you though?
No, I was just asking a question.
I'm
I'm
asking you a
not.
question.
No, I'm not saying that that's what I want. I was just, because he was talking about this topic, so I wanted to unpack it just a little bit more.
As the wife says, we have to have the same values.
Okay, I agree with that.
Right. We have to have the same work ethic.
Yes.
We have to have the same integrity.
Yes.
We have to have like character.
Yes.
Right. We have to be willing to learn.
Yes.
Right. Because the greatest leaders will follow.
Yes.
Right. So sometimes when we're leading, we need to know when to step back so that we follow.
Right.
Right. And sometimes when we're following, we need to know we need to step forward and lead. But yeah, we got to have the same values. Nah, we don't have to think the same.
Okay.
I think the greatest thing about people who think different, that's innovation.
Yes.
Right. If you think
Real talk.
toilet and I think sink, and toilet and sink don't exist, they almost the same thing. You like, I'm going to wash my hands in the toilet. And I'm saying I'm gonna pee in a sink. And then one day we realized that the sink is at 4 feet high. It's too high for me to stand up and pee. And this toilet is too low for me to wash my hands in. And we come together and now all of a sudden we got a bathroom, a sink, and a toilet. And the sink is where we wash our hands and the toilet is where we pee. That's innovation. You won't think about it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I rub my hands together on the carpet and I shock you. That's electricity.
Yes.
Your mama told you to stop it because you're shocking people and that ain't going to help nobody. Lights on.
Camera action.
Help somebody.
Real talk.
That's innovation. Now think different than me. Challenge me.
Right.
Challenge you.
Damon, did you want to say something?
Let's go.
No. No, I didn't. Trying to call me out.
No, I'm just
I had
asking.
nothing to say.
You sure?
Damon, what do you want, man? You said necessarily wealth earlier in that question. What do you want? What do you hope to achieve?
I would like to have enough money. Well, that's not the case. That's not the case. I was gonna say something silly like I want to be able to walk in any room I want, walk in any room and not have to introduce myself.
That's
dope.
That's dope, bro.
That is.
Do that. You got enough
that's
money
real
that when
talk.
you walk in a room, the people already know who you are.
Yep.
We had a conversation about that.
I forgot it.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
That's why we keep having these conversations.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Because you know what? We have to have the same conversation over and over again until it becomes our way of life. And even then, we still have to have the conversation because there's someone behind us who haven't heard it.
Right.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right.
I want fuck you money.
Woo.
That is enough money to tell anybody and everybody in any organization to go fuck themselves without suffering the repercussions. That's what I want out of life.
Deep.
Big fan of that.
Absolutely.
work with that.
And we can achieve that. Now, that doesn't mean that you act that way.
Right.
My homie called me today.
Well.
And no, he didn't call me. He didn't call me today. He didn't call me today. He called me a couple of days ago and we was talking about a lot of the stuff that's happening in this life. We've got the protests happening because of what's happening, right? And a lot of this has to do with wealth and power, and specifically the loss of life by police officers. And so I reached out to do some things to help soften some stuff, right? So we were talking about being big fish and small ponds.
Yes.
And he said, "Man, I'm glad you're not a shark." And I said, maybe I would be in a different place if I was.
Right.
And he said, "Miguel, I want you to know something. The shark's only value is to devour.
Yep.
They bring nothing to the table but to eat."
Destroy.
He said, "The big fish builds. The big fish helps the little fish.
Wow.
And sometimes the big fish fights the shark." I said, damn, I ain't really thought about it like that. Fuck that. I'm the big fish. Let's go.
See, that's mindset. See, that's mindset right
Right.
there.
But
That's mindset.
It is his mindset. But here's the thing. It takes other people to share that with you and to give you a new
Absolutely.
insight and a new thought. Because you out here watching Shark Tank.
Right.
You want to be a shark.
Right.
Matter of fact, everybody wants you to go on Shark Tank so
Right.
you can get eaten
Right.
by the sharks.
Right. I heard a young lady once say, all of her life and most of our life too, we've all been taught that it's lonely at the top. And she said, well, my thought process was, well, it doesn't have to be if you take some people with you.
Bing!
I'm going to shout out my friend Denise.
Let's go.
Denise Burkhardt. She says, a team's strength lies in its ability to bring diversity of thought together, to see one problem in a full spectrum of ways. You can't see the blind spot, others can't. The blind spots, others cannot.
Let's go. Unpack that for us.
Yeah.
Now,
Break it
go
down,
on.
brother. Break it down.
No, I mean, when you were talking about diversity of thought, we can come together and our ideas begin to bounce off one another. And where one of us may have a blind spot, the other may not.
That's true.
It enables each one of us bring with us a different vantage point.
True story.
And, like you said, sometimes the leader has to lead, sometimes the leader has to follow. And sometimes the follower has to step up and lead. We all have a role in this thing. And sometimes, we do need to bring somebody else with us.
That's 100%.
Not sometimes. All the time.
All the time.
We need to bring somebody else. We need to bring somebody with us.
We can't build by ourselves.
Right.
It takes pairs. It takes groups of people to build. It takes groups of people to make it sustainable.
Right.
It takes group of people to repair it.
Yep.
Right.
No one does it by themselves.
Right. I even heard Jay-Z say once, he said, if I'm the only guy in my crew that's rich, then I've lost.
Bing.
There it is.
When you walk in the room, Damon, they ask you, hey, you hired? That's a dope one too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you hired? Yeah, call my assistant. We'll get you together. I'll help you out.
Better yet, why don't you come do this entrepreneur camp and I'll show you how to build your own.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I got a ladder. I got some brick and mortar.
Exactly.
Let's go build.
And I also think that one aspect of wealth is influence.
Yes.
That influence has a currency to it,
Yes, it does.
as well as your integrity and your character. There's currency there,
True story.
and you have to be very careful and wise where you spend it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like any good resource. The well will run dry if you use it too much and wrong.
Yep.
Very true.
If you piss in your well, you can't drink the water.
Using your powers for evil
Ooh, when
instead
they
of good.
There it is.
That's real.
Yeah.
Real talk.
It will come back and get you.
Yep.
And you got to be prepared for that. You got to know that, hey, if I keep planting this seed of evil, it's gonna come back and grow.
And let me flip this influence thing on y'all. Because we had a brief conversation before we jumped in today.
Yes.
Because I was doing a thing and said I could do a thing. And y'all was like, nah, because you have the ability to do a thing. I ain't there yet. We all have influence.
Yes.
We all have influence. Power is in you.
Right.
You are only powerless when you choose to give it away.
Let that breathe.
And that is influence.
Let that breathe now.
So when someone is out there hurting or someone is in a position where they require something different for them to move forward, the guy or the gal standing next to them, I guarantee has some ability and some influence to change that.
Right.
Sometimes that is simply a conversation,
Right.
a kind word, an excuse me, let me think this through,
Right.
a question,
Right.
right? We all got influence. In this life, the struggle that we're having right now globally, right? Or specifically, in your town or your city, if you listen to this, because of whatever, protesters, looters, riots, the lack of wealth distribution, the ongoing war on poverty, or the impoverished, if we're going to say that, or those who are economically challenged. We all can change that.
Yep.
If people in our community are being gunned down by our police, that can change. That can change because we are governed by laws. Those laws are made up by us.
Right.
Right? So if we value things over life, then policy never changes.
That's right. That's correct.
Because we as a people will choose every time. So if, for my white friends out there in the world, if we allow elected officials to continue to value things over the one thing that they don't own anymore, and that's black people.
Wow.
I want you to chew on that shit for a minute. Because there's some white people in this world that are mad that they can't own us no more.
Real talk.
We ain't gonna go too deep because I said I wasn't gonna do that.
No, do your
but that's
thing.
generational wealth.
Yeah.
That's a control,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
But black people have been a commodity in this country
We still a commodity.
since it started.
Haven't you paid attention to sports? We're still a commodity.
We're still a commodity.
Exactly. We are a commodity.
Yeah, but we can change that. That can change.
It can.
And we can change it through policy.
Right.
We can realize equality and we can realize justice. We can realize economic equality through the change of policies in this country. But we have to choose to do that. We can make sure that the wealth distribution is equal, right? We can realize real opportunity. That's the thing. Like, they'll say opportunities are available for everybody. But the reality of it is that what's available to my white partner is not available often to me. I'm going to say two stories as a business owner being in Southern Indiana.
Okay.
I remember
after you do this, I got a question
let's
from
go.
your wife.
Let's go. So we was doing business and I had a particular client who it happens to be Caucasian. I was struggling with doing some business and growing the business a little while back. He pulled me aside and he said, Miguel, if you hire somebody white to represent you and you take a step back, your business would do better. And I had to process that for a minute. Here's my client. With all respecting, because he's dropping knowledge. He says to me, if you take a step back from the business you own, that you put your resources in, your blood, your tears, and put a white person in front of you, your business will thrive better here in Southern Indiana. Now, I didn't do that, and I've struggled ever since, right? But that's the mentality. That shit has to go. We have to work as a people to change that.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Right? Because when we live in a culture that thinks that way economically, that's the United States as a whole, because they see us as a tool. Never should we be the master. We ain't trying to keep nobody slaves, and I think that's the difference too. But what's your question, bro? Let's go.
So Tia asked, how do you all feel about being commodities?
Ooh, I'm gonna let y'all play with that. Go ahead, jump in there.
I'm gonna let Damon have it.
Go ahead, Damon. It's your world.
How I feel about being a commodity. I was curious once about how powerful the black dollar is. So I looked it up because I was wondering, if so much is marketed towards us, so much is marketed towards our culture. Our culture is used repetitively, and we make millionaires billionaires. Unfortunately, we don't make black millionaires or billionaires, but we do make them. And the black dollar, the most recent time I looked it up, was worth $3 trillion. As black people, we spend $3 trillion. I believe it is this week, marked the 99th year of the destruction of Black Wall Street. I most recently talked to a black business owner in Louisville, and she gave me a little history. She said when they desegregated the stores and the shops, all the black businesses on 4th Street in Louisville began to disappear because those black dollars, when black people could only shop in black stores, they shopped in black stores and black businesses thrived. But once they were able to go to the stores that once was denied to them, black businesses began to fade away because black people stopped supporting their business. What I feel about being a commodity, I don't necessarily care for it. But commodity or not, I don't have to have a commodity mindset. I want to be more than just a consumer.
Teach, friend.
Let's go.
I guess I never considered myself a commodity simply because I wasn't in a particular space. But as this conversation has developed, I can see where I have been a commodity as I've constantly made millions and millions of dollars of revenue for other people.
That's right.
I used to be a manager of a restaurant. And when I took over the shift that I worked, we were the worst shift in the company. 3 months after I took over the shift, we were the best. And I managed, just in my one shift alone, almost $3 million worth of business generated. But that was for somebody else.
Right.
I was their commodity. They came and recruited me because I was good at what I did.
Right.
And they saw the value in me.
Right.
What they saw in me became life because I made them money.
So that's it right there.
So
seeing the value in ourselves, right?
Yes, but I never thought of myself as a commodity.
We the most valuable thing in this country, bro.
And in this conversation, as this conversation has developed, you are absolutely right. The most valuable thing on the plantation were the slaves. Outright.
And them fools weren't picking no cotton.
And even now, in our sports, yes, our NBA stars may get millions of dollars worth in the contracts, but they are making billions of dollars for the owners.
Oh, yeah.
Say that again.
I said right now in the NBA, our athletes, our stars are getting millions of dollars in contracts, but yet they make billions of dollars for the owner.
For the who?
The owner.
Exactly.
That's right.
So, although we don't call it slavery no more, the model hasn't changed much.
You know, the most valued raw talent material in a sports team is the player.
Yeah, 100%.
In itself means commodity.
Right.
We are as a people, even those of us who we see or might be identified as the least player on the board, those of us who might feel like we are poor.
Right.
Comparatively speaking.
Right? Are value commodity in this institution that we call America. We may not see it. I don't know, that's changing. But let's just say yesterday we may not have seen that. You know, first of all, I don't mind, for me, answer the question. I don't mind being a commodity. I love my raw talent. I love my ability to process and to think and to create and to build new things. What I struggle with often, here's my challenge. That is in this society, in the community often that I live in, work in, dwell in, play in, they would rather try to extract the talent for free than to pay its value. Earlier today, they was talking about we want to patronize, we want to do business with black-owned businesses. Why can't we find them? Because yesterday you didn't value the commodity that was in your house.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. You are still the same because you don't value the thing that would make you better.
Wow.
Let that breathe.
Right.
And that goes for both white and black people.
Right.
I'm
Let
done.
that breathe.
This is Gelligel, and this is Common Conversations with the Oddfellas. If you like the podcast, if you like what you're seeing on Facebook, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, share and or like. And if you're really digging it and you want me to keep throwing money into the money jar, that tip jar, go ahead and hit the donate button. You know what? It costs to make this thing happen, and we didn't ask you to pay to listen. But I am now. Let's go.